Coach, can you kind of explain what's going on with Ovi? We were talking about him a couple of days ago, okay? And he's got 10 goals in 14 games. Last year, Cakes, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Last year, I think it took 45 games for him to get to 10 goals.
Yeah, it was like, I think it was late December. Don't quote me on that, but it was much later in the season.
Call it half the season or half the schedule. But in a shooting percentage, we talked about a shooting percentage a lot last year, right, Coach?
It was just absurd.
Now it's 20% as opposed to 11.4%. Now, I know it's only 14 games, so that'll go down, but he's just off to an unbelievable start. Can you kind of explain what he's doing differently this year? Is he just catching more of the breaks this year, or is there something different about his game that he's scoring so much?
I think there's a couple things. Like, he looks really, really good, has looked good since the start of camp, is moving well. He might not admit this, and he would say, it was the typical off-season, same training, like I came in with the same mindset. I felt like at the end of last year and the way it ended in the playoffs, and specifically him, I felt like he was highly, highly motivated this offseason when I talked to him, when he talked about his training regimen. And so coming into the year with some of the moves that we made in the offseason, the way the year ended last year in the playoffs against New York, I don't know. I just think maybe, again, he may say you're crazy, but I think there's a little bit of a chip and a little bit of added motivation that he's looked excellent from day one of training camp, from game one of the season. Even though at the beginning of the year pucks weren't going in for him the first 3-4 games, but I still think when you dove into the film, he looked really good. So I think that's number one. Two is there's some confidence in pucks have gone in as opposed to the other way, like you touched on about the shooting percentage last year. So there's some confidence. When goal scorers, pucks start to go in for them, it now snowballs confidence. You feel really good. Every time you touch a puck, you feel like it's going into the back of the net. And then I would probably point to the last point. I feel like the chemistry with Stromer and us making the move to put Protas up there and moving O to the right side and putting Protas on his left side because he is a left shot. I feel like the chemistry on that line has been exceptional, and they've been Protas has added. He's a big guy. He can skate. He goes and gets pucks on the forecheck. He's a great passer and has great vision. So I think the chemistry on the line has helped as well.